After arguably their worst loss of the season, the Warriors rested Steph Curry on the second night of a back-to-back. That left the spotlight on Jimmy Butler, who stepped up as the team's 1A superstar. Butler torched the Bucks again with 24 points and 10 assists, leading Golden State to a statement win. With the Warriors needing to prove they can compete with contenders, let's break down how Butler elevated his game and his teammates. With the return of Pajensky and Kuminga, the Warriors need to rest Steph as he looked absolutely gassed against the Nuggets. Fans were not optimistic for a win here, but their new superstar stepped up as the primary option. Pajensky goes for the brush screen on Giannis while Quentin Post goes for the dribble handoff. The Bucks miscommunicated badly here and were switching everything, so both this slip by Pods and DHO were brilliant, as each Bucks defender assumed they were actually switching to the ball. Giannis had his eyes entirely locked on Butler anyway, leading to a triple team at the perimeter for no reason. This is the attention that Jimmy Butler has earned a reputation for, so when the rookie slips right into the paint, you can always rely on Butler to make the right play for the assist. Butler loves to make timely passes right when the defense loses focus. There were plenty of examples of this in the first half. Post goes for the dribble handoff with Pods here and Milwaukee easily switches, so they don't get anything. Swing to Butler, and with a mismatch on Lopez, you can see Giannis slide his feet over to the left, ready to shade and help. As Pods fades to the left wing, the Bucks are locked into Jimmy, so Jimmy sees his positioning by kicking out right back to Pods, who created just enough space for a much longer closeout by Giannis. Shout out Pajensky for having a great game returning from injury, and he hits his three. Let's break down again just how patient Butler is. Even on the strip by Gary Trent Jr., Jimmy stays patient on the left block and surveys the weak side. There are few superstars in the NBA who commands the entire defense's attention like this, but who also has the skill to make these timely passes. Butler waits until Lopez gets out of the paint to try and play the threat of post shooting, and for Lillard to ball watch for a couple seconds too long. Moses loves making these reads off the weak side and cuts at the right time, getting a perfectly delivered pass from Jimmy. Lopez is out of position to help, and Moses gets a layup. Butler is known to often look for his teammates and not a zone shot, despite the entire defense locked in on him. As Jimmy has a mismatch on the perimeter, Pods' man and Lopez is all the way down the paint. All you need is some movement on the weak side, so when Post cuts, this temporarily catches Giannis off guard on the swing pass back to the left wing. Pods is also an expert at attacking off the catch, so when Butler hits him on the pass, he's also able to freeze Giannis for a half second and gets right by him as he turns around. This is still a very tough layup by Pajensky over two shot blockers, and he gets the roll. All these examples are of Jimmy essentially dissecting the defense at his own pace. On this post-split action, Buddy tries to use Draymond's off-ball screen, but Prince top locks him, forcing Hield to backdoor. This simple cut sucks in the weak side low man Brook Lopez too much, opening up the opportunity for Jimmy to survey the weak side and make this cross-court pass right on the money. Lopez now has to come from the paint to close out, and Quentin Post makes him play from downtown. Now let's see how Jimmy plays as the off-ball player in the Draymond Green post-split action. Jimmy simply has a level 99 basketball IQ. Since he is a non-shooter, he sees that Kyle Kuzma is out of position. All he does is jab set to pretend to use Pajensky's pick, and then back cut right to the rim. We know Draymond is able to deliver this perfect bounce pass. Lopez has to rotate a bit late to contest as a shot blocker, and Butler scores a contested layup. But when Jimmy Butler wants to score, he's perfectly capable of taking over games, just like the Milwaukee Bucks series a couple years ago when he torched multiple times as a member of the Heat. He knows he has a mismatch on Kyle Kuzma already, so this time goes to work in the post. The other Warriors make sure to create all the spacing they can for him, so Butler hits Kuzma with a jab and then right into the paint with a body bump. This forces the weak side low man and Prince to help, and shout out to GB2 for shooting the lights out recently. These open jump shots are one of the main reasons the Dubs are punishing opponents, and Butler makes his correct kickout pass to the corner for a big three. With Milwaukee storming back to a lead in the third quarter, I thought the game was over until Jimmy decided to dictate things on his own term to start the fourth. With the shot clock winding down, Butler takes a mismatch in Porter Jr. on an isolation. Jimmy's so intelligent, he's able to create space by going for a step back, and we know he just loves to pump fake and bait the defenders for stupid fouls. Absolutely ridiculous contest by the defender to buy on the shot fake, and Jimmy hits a long two for the and one. This was a huge momentum shot for the Warriors. Let's take another weak defender in isolation to remind us of prime 2023 playoff Jimmy. Nothing fancy here with any dribbling moves, but he's strong and crafty enough to take a weak defender to the exact spot he wants on the floor. Milwaukee did not want to send help whatsoever, so Butler knocks Trent Jr. off balance and simply dribbles with his right hand directly to his sweet spot and hits the 8-footer. He's hot right now. However, when he knows he does not have the mismatch, Butler never forces things. He sees that his primary defender is now Giannis, so why go ISO? When Pods goes for the on-ball screen, Butler simultaneously sends an entry pass to Draymond. This catches the Bucks defense off a beat, as Giannis thought they were switching, so now he is a half step behind as Jimmy comes for the handoff. Terrible defense by Trent Jr., falling for a slight shot fake and not being able to cut Jimmy off, as he attacks off the catch and is able to get right to the baseline. Brook Lopez is stuck between trying to come contest as a shot blocker and trying to not leave his assignment on the weak side. Jimmy jumps in the air to freeze him for a second and then makes a simple bounce pass to the weak side corner. Shout out Post for getting burned in the third quarter, but this was a huge bounce back three-pointer to build the lead late in the shot clock. I can never get tired of watching Jimmy Butler expertly reading the defense. Post comes for the pick and roll and Milwaukee confuses their coverage here. You can see Lopez is trying to press a screener and avoid the switch, but if you're Kuzma, you just can't open your body like that to the strong side. Butler easily rejects the pick and gets an open lane. He sees that Giannis rotates from the weak side early and does not force anything tough, but instead gets to his patent jump stop and shoots an open 8-footer instead. Butler was taking Kuzma's lunch money on these plays. Post comes for the on-ball pick and Prince immediately jumps out to switch. Butler sees that he's been giving his right hand and drives and crashes into the paint at will. Let's freeze the screenshot and look at the coverages here. Trent Jr. stunts off a non-shooter and Kuzma completely leaves his switch and comes to help. Lopez is also covering non-shoot on the weak side corner and trying to help on the roll man. Butler loves to jump stop and suck in the defense, and great relocation by GB2 here to not stay on the weak side and find an open spot on the perimeter. Simple kick out pass and Payne knocks another big 3 down. Great patient offense. With 2 minutes left, let's give Jimmy Butler the ball and let him go to work on mismatches. GB2 comes for the on-ball pick to get a weak defender in Damian Lillard into action. With Steph Curry out, Golden State had to keep the offense simple, and here he gets a switch and the matchup he wants. Nothing fancy but a tween and easily gets dribble penetration on Lillard. Both Giannis and Kuzma come over to help and a simple dump-off pass to GB2 who he can always find around the rim. Payne finishes the floater and this is great execution by the Warriors. Milwaukee sacrificed a lot on their perimeter defense by trading for Dame Lillard and other shooters. Here Jimmy has another mismatch in a smaller Trent Jr. and simply blows by him in an isolation. This forces the Bucks into rotations as Giannis initially comes as a weak side low man. When Butler drives, it is key for other Warriors role players to move around and spread the defense out. Buddy drops down to the corner while Paz comes up high, so when Jimmy jump stops in the paint, you just know 90% of the time he's not looking for his own shot. Lillard is caught ball watching once again and loses his man, so Butler finds an open Pajensky at the top of the key for the dagger 3-pointer. There you guys have it. Golden State bounced back from a horrific loss to keep their reputation as the Western Conference contender. Since Jimmy Butler arrived, the narrative has been that the Warriors have not been quality opponents, and haters pounced after the horrendous Nuggets L. With Steph Curry struggling and needing rest, it was their 1A superstar of the night in Jimmy Butler who reminded the world who he still is when the Dubs need him the most. Butler torched the Bucks, reminding Giannis and the rest of the team of those dominant playoff series by scoring at all 3 levels, carving up the defense, and making timely passes for great shots. He controlled the pace, steadied the Dubs late in the third quarter with big momentum buckets, and kept them alive when the Bucks looked destined to win. Butler's patience in dissecting mismatches and angles to get high-quality shots, either for himself or his teammates, was on full display, proving exactly why he was traded for. This was a fantastic response by the Golden State Warriors, so if you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.